Welcome to Manhwa. Today we are here for some of the most hated male characters from the manhwa world. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Duke Killian Devonshire from The Mistress Runs Away. Rich and influential Killian Devonshire treated the female character, Rowena, in the worst possible way, stubbornly convinced that she was a former courtesan who stayed with him for his wealth and was cheating on him. He treated her like his possession who must obey him and satisfy his lust. He sent her to live on an island while he prepared to get married to another woman. Yes, another woman. When Rowena found out about his incoming marriage, he dumped her coldly. 5 years later, he forced her to come back to him by threatening to harm her child. And the reason for him to get her back? Not because he missed her, but he thought she might cure his headache. Emperor Alexander from Divorcing My Tyrant Husband. In this isekai manhwa, Alexander is a tyrant who had killed his own father and siblings to ascend the throne and married Rebelia as his empress. 3 years of marriage meant nothing to him, as he neglected her to oblivion and favored the other wife instead. To add salt to injury, Alex divorced her mercilessly, and she died soon after. After the female character was transmigrated into Rebelia's body, she tried to avoid her death by requesting an early divorce from him. However, Alex didn't want a divorce because for his empress to ask for divorce before him, it hurt his ego. Later, he shamelessly launches his courtship on her, all because he's intrigued by her new non-submissive character. King Lucio in Lady to Queen. Lady to Queen is a turn-back time manhwa. In the original timeline, Lucio favors his devious concubine to the point that he dethroned his queen and had her whole family executed. In the second timeline, he chose Patrizia to be his queen, solely because he secretly knew she's infertile, which would make a good excuse to dethrone her later and set the path to make his concubine the new queen. Although he had a change of heart for his queen later, he's spineless and hardly defend her from the concubine's malicious attack. Emperor Sovietu from the remarried empress. Of course, this list will not be completed without Sovietu. He was so trashy to the point that the readers nicknamed him Sovieshit. He had a clever and virtuous Navier as his empress, but decided to take in a mistress with questionable character. Not only that, he insulted and demanded his empress to satisfy every whim of the mistress. When the mistress became pregnant, Sovietu proceeded with a divorce to make his mistress the new empress. Yet he became offensive when Navier announced her new marriage to another king right after the divorce. Crown Prince Electro from Killian. Electro was in love with another girl, but was engaged to Eris on the command of his father. Too cowardly to oppose the engagement, he vented his frustration on Eris, insulting her by openly showing affection to his lover. At one point, he even slapped her when he mistaken she was bullying his lover. However, when Eris broke off the engagement, Electro got angry that she no longer wished to love him unconditionally, even though he has never loved her. Duke Valor Wistache from I Don't Love You Anymore. Valor treated his fiancée Nevi coldly, despite being engaged for 10 years and staying under one roof. When Nevi slapped a woman who was rude and had insulted her, Valor took the side of the woman. He turned a blind eye to all the rumors and contempt she received from society, servants and even her own family. Before leaving for war, Valor prepared an annulment letter and pushed for Nevi to sign on it. For years, she refused to sign and wrote many letters to him, which he didn't bother to read. Finally, she gave up loving him, signed the paper and left. It took Valor 2 whole days to notice Nevi was gone, and then shamelessly tried to persuade her to return. Later, his now ex-fiancée got married to a neighboring country's king, and Valor tried to stick by her side, deluding himself that she will eventually return to him. Cesar from How to Get My Husband on My Side. Cesar is the horribly abusive step-brother of female character Ruby. He whips and tortures Ruby since young age. That left many hideous scars on her body. Then he used her as pawn in political marriages for 4 times, but each of her marriage ended up in annulment due to the rumor that Cesar and Ruby have incestuous relationship. This is untrue, and the rumor was started by Cesar himself to make sure Ruby will have no choice but return to him. Cesar secretly harbors desire and was dangerously obsessed with her. Emperor Kaisen from How to Hide the Emperor's Child. Kaisen divorced his Empress Estelle on their wedding night, as soon as his father, the emperor, had died, and he no longer needed her family's support anymore. After the divorce, she was kicked out by her own father and lived in poverty. 6 years later, Kaisen's grandmother passed away, and as she had willed her properties to Estelle, Kaisen forced her to return and give up the rights, all while holding her nephew and grandfather hostage. When he learned that the nephew was in fact his biological son, he made her his queen again, despite her objection and disgust. Duke James Parnell from I Can't Keep Up With My Stallion Duke. Using his power, James keeps turning back the time again and again to marry the female lead Sylvia, but failed to ensure her happiness in each timeline. He has high superiority sense and ownership over his wife, but he ignored her well-beings and feelings. He didn't even comfort her after she experienced difficult childbirth. Lastly, here we have honorable mention, Ruvellus from The Abandoned Empress. This name sure pops up many times when I was searching on this topic. I didn't pick up this manhwa as I was warned it will raise my blood pressure. If you have read this manhwa, please comment on why Ruvellus was hated at below section. That's all for today and hope you enjoy this video. Please do give this video a like and click on subscribe for more new videos.